Hey guys, welcome to The Beat Goes On. Today we are sitting down with Grudge Meyer. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Hey.
So let's get some introductions going. We're going to start over here in the corner.
Mike Weiss.
And Mike, what do you play?
I play bass guitar.
Next.
Jerry Madison. I play lead guitar.
We got Joey Habley, and I'm on drums.
And Justin Harry, the son of Joe, and I play rhythm.
And Alan Valad, the vocalist, Grudge Meyer.
Fantastic. Guys, thanks for taking the time to sit down with me on a Sunday afternoon. I know that you guys probably had better things to do, even if it was sitting butt down, feet up. The fact that you took the time out to come sit with us is pretty awesome, and the fans appreciate getting to hear who you are.
Glad to do it.
So,
yeah, definitely.
Anytime.
Let's start over here with the lead singer. Can you give me a little bit of your background, who you are, how you got into music, who you've played with?
Yeah, actually, I got into music because my father's a musician. And watching him as a little kid and going to the stages and stuff like that, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I had all the fun toys around me all the time. I actually started playing bass. My first band, I was 14 years old. I played a band called Melting Point here in Arizona. And they would pick me up every day. They were all 20, 25, and we played at desert parties and do stuff like that. And so I got in a couple more bands after that. I got in a band called Legion here in Arizona. And we could not find a singer for nothing. And I played bass. So at that point, I started singing and playing bass. And then I kind of put the bass aside, and I've been singing ever since. Different bands like Détente was one of them. Ball and Chain was another band from here. And then I kind of got into just more of the writing part of it. And so I started writing my own songs, and then I got in a club and started doing different stuff with different musicians all over the world, collaborating with Mexico, California, and then I got on the Karen Stever project, and which was national, and I actually did backup singing for her on one of the songs that they had. And from there, one day I was kind of sitting in my studio after I'd been doing stuff, and I had all these libraries of songs, tons, and I thought, you know what, I want to get back out on the stage, and start doing that. So what I did was I took one of my favorite songs from each band I was playing in, put them all together, and started advertising that I wanted to get in the band. And Joey, he contacted me, got a hold of me, and I thought, you know what we'll do, we'll start off as a three-piece. And I started playing bass and singing, and I took all them songs right there, and that's songs that we actually started off with.
And so was that the beginning of Grudge Meyer?
That was the beginning of Grudge Meyer 2.5 years ago.
Nice.
And then from there, as a three-piece, I said, okay, I want to put the bass down so I can just concentrate on my vocals and writing. And we picked up Mike Weiss. And I put the bass down from there, and then now we were a four-piece. And then from there we made one guitar player change. And we ended up picking also Justin up, because we wanted more of a rhythm behind us, which worked out great. And then we got Jerry Madison with us, and done a couple studio songs now. We've done with Full Well Recording Studios. We've done 5 songs altogether, and now we're ready to hit the stage again. We're ready to get back out.
So Full Well Studios.
Full Well Recording Studios. Mike Bolenbach and Kobe Peoples. Was that his last name?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, great studio. I highly recommend them.
Highly.
Nice.
They're very nice guys. And
They're nice guys. They work with you. They know how to get the best out of you, out of your music.
Yeah, they're going to make you work for it.
And you work for it. You're probably it's one of the most exhausting things you can go through. Sometimes. At times, everyone thinks it's the funnest thing, but music is work.
And that is a theme that we were talking earlier, and I was telling you guys, videotaping your practices. One of the reasons I like seeing bands do that is so that these new bands coming in the door understand that you didn't get here overnight.
No way.
All of the steps that you have taken, that's been work. It doesn't come easy. There is nothing easy in this business. And so it's having a studio that is making y'all work to get that good sound out. That falls right in line with that. You do occasionally hear about a band walking into a studio to record a song and it goes so smoothly that first take was it. But seriously, how often is that the reality of it?
No.
Well, and that's the thing is no matter how much you prepare yourself to go in the studio. I mean, I found myself, we do a song called Dream Girl, and I've sang with these same lyrics for, 7-8 years now. Well, I get in there, and those lyrics go away. On the spot. On the spot. We had the on-spot write, and now I had to sing something that I've been singing this way for 8 years, and it wasn't like that.
Right.
And now here you go. You're going to sing it this way. You're going to do this, and you're going to do that. But in the outcome, it came out great.
Yes, it did.
Surprisingly.
But it was one of the hardest things because the song was so much in my head that I didn't even have to think about it.
Right.
Now I'm looking at a piece of paper trying to sing it the way someone else would kind of
How they tweaked it for
how
you.
they tweaked it and what you did. And so it's not as easy as you think unless you're just going to go and do recordings. I do recordings myself in my home studio. That's different. I have control over it, and I'm going to do it like this, and this is the way I sound. You get a producer in there, and they start collaborating with your song. Now you got their thoughts. So on the spot, you got 5-hour sessions. Basically, is what you're working with, and like that, you got to come up with something different.
And time's money.
And time is money, and it's running the whole time.
And it's not cheap money.
No, not if you want something good product.
No,
right.
It's not at all, and that's. But it's even though I've been in the studio before, a lot of us have. It was just brought it all back. I mean, I had never been in a studio sometimes, and it was the one day I couldn't wait to go home. I was exhausted, and here's something I love to do, But then, and it wasn't all like that. It wasn't all like it is. But a lot of times people think, studio's easy stuff. They do overdubbing. You do this and this and this and that. No, you do your own parts.
And our golden rule was to not be able to do something on stage and bandage it up on the recording. We want to be what we project is what we are.
When you hear the song on the recording and then you see the song played live and you go, whoa, it sounds just like it.
Well, and that's something I was actually just thinking on my way over here because I was listening to one of my podcasts that's the music on my way over here, and I was listening to one of my favorite bands sing a song that I know by heart. And I realized the recording really didn't sound like they do live.
That's it.
And quite honestly, the live version, them live, is so much richer and fuller of a sound than they got on the recording. And I was like, wow, that's actually a little disappointing. Damn.
Yeah. Of course, you're scrambling to get the equipment that they use so you can perform live.
Right.
Yeah. So it's an
Sometimes
ongoing. Go ahead.
Sometimes you strive in the recording studio to get the sound that you are playing live.
Right.
But sometimes just the variation, both are good, but you can tell it's live, you just have the ambience.
Well, and that was listening to this particular song, it was like, okay, it's good. It's not that it didn't turn out well.
Right.
It's just, I know the live version. Yeah. And like I said, the live version is so much more to it. It was disappointing as I sat and thought about it. Now, if I was just somebody who had picked up that song and never heard it before, I wouldn't even think twice. It was still a good recording. Yeah. It was a good, solid sound. So let's jump over to next in line, our youngest one in the band.
Just by a little bit.
just a little bit?
Yeah.
Just that much?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Justin. As far as where music was introduced to me,
Well, hold on. Let's
okay.
roll back just a little bit. Justin, what part do you play in the band?
Oh, I'm the rhythm guitarist.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the way I got started in music is, like I said, my dad, is the drummer, so music has always been there, since I was born. However, I didn't pick up the guitar or any instrument. A little bit of the drums when I was a kid, but it wasn't the guitar until about high school is when I started playing. But this is like really for me the first time playing with a band. And a lot of it's just been sitting in your room practicing.
Right.
Messed around a little bit with high school friends, but nothing ever came of that.
But you've grown up seeing behind the scenes what it takes, the level of work that it takes. So you're coming into this with a different point of view than a typical high school kid that wants to start that garage band.
Oh yeah. And that's one of the many perks is working, in a band with people much older than myself, is you get all those years, decades of experience that you can benefit from. Going back, kind of change the topics a little bit, going back to the recording studio, how hard of work that was. We decided to record in the summer, which here in Arizona...
Oh, God.
It was brutal.
Yeah, you can't have air conditioning, ceiling fans going. So just picture a shed in August or 115.
Yeah, no thank
I
you.
lost about 15 pounds.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I can't afford to lose
Hydrate. Lots of hydrate.
Yeah.
So, how has it been for you? Not only are you in a band with your dad, you are in a band where you are, 20 years younger than the next youngest member?
A little bit more than that, but yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's about right.
All right, some bands are really picky about people knowing their age, so I try and be kind.
That's all right.
It doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So, how has it been for the band bringing somebody in that's got such a different point of view on things?
It's always great to mix things up.
Oh, yeah.
Bring in new things.
ideas.
New approaches, new ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be stuck in the 80s and the old technology. Let's bring something in that enhances us.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're a very, very open-minded band.
Yeah.
I mean, we discuss this and even anything that I write or anything like that, these guys know you play it the way you're going to play it. You don't like this, let me know, tell me. And we've always been really open, so everyone's input is just great. You want it that way. It's when you don't have that input, you're just a self band, and it doesn't work out too well.
Well, and this gives you guys, because you brought up an 80s band. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be an 80s band.
Well, it's just not so much the 80s,
But this gives you guys that unique perspective on what's catching the attention of the younger crowd. Because you've got one sitting right here with you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm finding that some of the 80s and 90s is definitely coming back. We want that back. I think we're reached a height, and everybody's kind of looking around for new sounds.
Right.
So that's kind of why we grabbed a little bit of everything. 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Let's bring it in.
Let's grab the best of it all.
Right?
Nothing wrong with
that. And not only that, that's why we're open to other bands and their ideas, and we want to coerce with them, and we're not stuck up. We don't want to be butthurt. We're basically, let's talk, let's be friends.
Right.
If we got a show, come on, let's go do it.
Nice.
That's what it's about.
Well, and I'm in a unique position that I get to have lots of conversations with lots of bands, and I am not a musician, so I don't look at things from the eyes of a musician. I'm not in a band, so I don't look at things from the eyes of being in a band. But I'm not just a fan either, because I get to see behind the curtain. So I see a lot of the drama that's going on in our current music community and look at people and go, okay, number one, did you forget to have a conversation before you jumped on this train?
Right.
Because that seems to be a lot of what's happening is conversations didn't happen.
Yeah.
but I'm also getting to see and hear and work with a lot of bands that there's no, anybody who has started a band knows, there's no rule book as to A, how to start that band, B, how to run that band, and C, how to get that band to the top.
Right.
Yet we do have people out there that are doing great work at getting their bands promotion, getting their bands rising. And now that we've got the communities out there, the groups out there where they are talking, like you said, sitting down, multiple bands sitting down and sharing information, maybe we have a hope on having not a rule book as much as a guidebook on here are some ways that we have shown that this can work.
Yep. I mean,
And
this is what it's about.
I'm enjoying getting to see that happen. There is nothing better to me than seeing people actually coming together on something and making it as a group grow.
It's awesome, and it's great to see a band grow.
I love it.
Everybody wants to be around success. You've got to surround yourself with success to be successful. But that's why I'm saying, let's talk. I need ideas. I'm open, so I don't want to be that star who runs away from the crowd. I want to be. I'm going to invite everybody backstage. Right. Is my theory.
Right. So, well, let's move on to you, Mr. Drummer. Your turn.
Uh-oh. Well, kind of like Alan, I started real young. My father had played drums with Buck Owens for some time.
I know that name.
And, Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
Got to see what that was like back in 67, 69 as a little kid. Mm-hmm. It was kind of awesome. And I kind of wanted to go the other route, so of course rock and roll, Kiss, Ted Nugent started grabbing me. But I started playing drums when I was 7, and kind of gave it up for a little while, jumped back in it, and the same with Alan, got into bands where I wasn't old enough to get into bars. Was that for a little while. I used to actually sneak into bars to see this one local band. And this kind of lead up to this.
Well, who's the band?
Well, they were called Loosely Tight. And they were pretty good back in the 80s. Everybody knew them. Radio stations actually helped bands locally get promoted.
How do we get that back?
That's a good question. Mm-hmm. Really.
Exactly.
Because we're searching for any college stations or anything. And that's the hard one.
I mean, that was why I created that other podcast, was because I had other podcast stations come to me because of the local beat and go, hey, we want to advertise on the local beat. And I'm like, well, do you play the local music, the local band's music? Oh, well, we play 25%. And I'm like, nah, that's not good enough. No. You want to advertise in a group that caters to the local music and tell me that your playlist is only 25% local music?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that.
Ours is 99.9, I believe.
My podcast is 100% local music.
We're striving for that.
And 100% return. So, the Loosely Tight was one of my main. I went on to play like CT Frenzy, Dog Will Hunt, US. Started getting known a little better and started playing a little better. Kind of started watching other drummers and started talking to them. And by gosh, that really did help. So I started actually getting to go in and record with a gentleman, Gorgeous Face Jimmy Garwin. He was a pro wrestler.
I know that name, as a matter of fact.
The Bird Brothers. So that was really my first in the recording studio. And that really did kick my ass. I went out with my tail wet and ran home.
Right.
Got a little bit more educated and then just kept in the old garage bands, plucking away. Did go to work for 30 years, raise the family, kind of lose that dream, but now I grabbed it again.
Did you lose it or did you put it on hold?
Oh, I just put it on hold.
Yeah, because I was like,
Yeah.
I've yet to hear. I've in all of the musicians I've interviewed and talked to, that is a standard theme. Everybody took
Pretty
a
much.
break to go raise a family and do that part of life,
Yep.
but everybody came back. That dream never went away.
Yeah, they said it would be easier to become a doctor or a lawyer before you were going to be a rock star. So that kind of discouraged me a little bit. But I knew they'd get me the girls. So
There is no doubt. There is no doubt. Except you're playing the wrong instrument.
yeah.
It's
And
the
I'm
guitar.
married.
It's the guitar that gets the girls.
Yeah,
That's
right. So hey, I'm very glad, and that's why I dragged my son into this, and what a blessing that's been for having him walk into such a good position to be in. But no, I have done my time. I got a hold of Alan. I loved his vocals, the sound of it grabbed my heart. We've been at it ever since,
nice.
and it's just been wonderful. It's actually the first time we've all had a band. Everybody has good attitudes. We're friends. We're brothers. We stick together.
And you know, that's another theme that I'm seeing in this is people are going to want to get really angry at me over this, and I'll pay the price later. Good bands, and I don't mean that any of the bands that I work with aren't good, but the ones that are the very cohesive, those ones that are smooth up on that stage, those ones that are up there having the good time. That is a theme among them, that they are family on and off stage.
You've got to build that chemistry. There's no other way. It's not going to work.
Well, and it's important in the music as well. You have to have the chemistry with your bandmates to have that chemistry in the music.
I mean, you know when you start locking in. I know when Mike's going to go left, and Jerry's going to go right, left, right. I'm right there with him. But that took a while to get.
Right.
That's the emerging. But it didn't take as long. We married real quick.
So, Mr. Quiet over there, your turn.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be edited. That's
The
all.
fact is, he's actually afraid to speak because he's afraid he might say something that's going to haunt him. I know what it is. It's all good. Speak out. Your turn.
My name is Jerry Madison.
Okay.
I've been playing guitar since I was 15. So 6 or 7 years now. Sorry. Not really. I'm the oldest man of the band. But
2 months.
yeah,
By a
6
whole
weeks.
2 months.
Yeah.
so we're close.
But he got the fastest car.
I gotta sell that thing.
Too many tickets?
No tickets, but 146 miles an hour last Sunday is
Hey,
a little
you got-
too much.
Don't convict yourself.
Ooh,
So anyway,
that's
and
a
I
little.
have a CDL license, so I gotta. Anyway, I wanted to be a drummer, and my dad talked me into playing guitar. It was the best thing that ever happened.
Why did he want you on the guitar
Well,
over the
my
drum?
mom said it's because he didn't want to hear all that banging on drums in the house. So anyway, and it's a good thing he did. My mom played piano in church, so I was around music my whole life.
Right.
People would ask my dad, "Well, what do you play?" Because I play the radio. So
I'm the backup singer, the one in the far back corner in the dark with the microphone turned off. That's me.
absolutely.
I think we've all played the radio going to work and back.
Oh, yeah. But the first year I played guitar, learned how to play, I had one of the best bands in town called Sweet Leaf. Then we got another drummer, and we called ourselves Presence, like Led Zeppelin Presence.
Right.
And that's where we played, like, on the radio, a college station from California. I'm from California. I've been in Arizona about a year and a half. I did not think I was going to play in a band again. But
What brought you to Arizona?
well, I was going to buy a house in Washington, actually. I sold my house in California because my mom passed away. And my buddy lived here.
And if you're smart, you don't want to live in California.
Oh, well, there's a reason why I don't. But the music scene, the San Francisco Bay Area, we're talking Metallica, Sammy Hagar,
Right.
Yeah.
Eddie Money, Jefferson Starship was a guy I went to school with. Brett Bloomfield was the bass player for them. Even Creedence Clearwater was from California. In my neighborhood, Carlos Santana. I played guitar with John Lee Hooker for 3 years. Not the main guitar player, but I would sit in with them.
Right.
With
It doesn't matter whether you were a part of the band or you got to sit
But
down
he
and
was a
in a
great
garage. The fact that you're sitting down with somebody
Oh.
at that level is amazing.
He introduced me to Carlos Santana and George Thorogood.
See, these are names I grew up on.
I mean, it's just, I fell right into that. It was great.
Yeah.
But
So you came out to Phoenix. You didn't count on 115-degree heat in the summer.
Or Grudge Meyer.
But can I say this?
Or Grudge Meyer.
107 in California is a lot hotter than 115 here.
Different level of humidity for sure.
Absolutely. I mean,
Absolutely.
I really didn't have a problem with it. I was a roofer
I have a problem.
in California.
You know heat.
Yes. But I wanted to be Jimmy Page when I was a kid. So, Jimmy Page, Michael Schenker, Yngwie Malmsteen, and I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I know my dad, I had to keep my dad happy. I listened to Johnny Cash, Buck Owens.
Oh, okay. You say that listening to Johnny Cash, like, that's a punishment.
Oh
my God.
Absolutely not. I play a mean Ghost Riders in the Sky and
I was
From
seriously
Prison
about
Blues.
to contemplate ending this interview because, man.
no way. No.
Hey, we
I
love-
mean,
You know, people
You're slaying me here.
people call Cash country, but the fact is that man had no genre.
No,
No, he didn't.
he was a hell of a man.
Hank Williams and Johnny Cash
Yeah.
in my book wrote the book.
I grew
Yeah.
up listening to him. So.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
Some of my favorites, man. Some of my favorites. So, how did you meet Grudge Meyer?
All right. I came out here. See, my buddy I came out here to visit, I was only going to be on vacation. Well, I love the weather here and everything. He's a musician. And we grew up to...
Who does he play with?
He played for a band, Temples of Thieves in the Temple. And another band, I can't remember the name, but another guy that's around here, he's a rock star. Everyone knows him.
Well, you
Danny
need to be giving a...
Danny Wexler.
The old
Okay,
schoolboys.
so you need to be giving shout-outs to these people. Come on.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah. Danny West.
But
Danny Webster. Yeah.
I
the
was
schoolboys.
retired. So a friend of ours, Will Pierce, plays in a band, I think, Angry John. I live up in Cave Creek, by all the bars, the Hideaway.
That's really bad that's what Cave Creek is known for.
I
I
mean,
live up in
but
Cave
there's
Creek
a
where
lot
the
of
bars
musicians
are.
So anyway, he calls me and my buddy up on the stage, and we played Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
I got the urge. I got on Band Mix. I was only on it less than 2 weeks.
Damn.
I'm in the car with my girlfriend, and Joey calls me. Hey, something. And I go, is this that drummer? I mean, I didn't really know who it was. I didn't take it serious. He goes, you want to do an audition? And I go, sure. That was June 15th. I auditioned here last year.
So
Came
you're
here.
coming up on just a year with the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sent me 3 songs. I learned them. I came here, and we nailed it. And I was like, man, these guys kick ass. So
Out of 4.
So I go home, and I mean, I don't really have much patience for waiting. I go, man, they better call me and stuff. And like an hour and a half later, it's like, and go, yes. It was Joey. He goes, hey, man, boys like you. I go, dig it.
Heads
And,
up.
Nice.
and let me tell you, I love these guys. I mean, and Justin's like, him and I are the 1-2 punch on the guitar. I mean, we played, what was it, last week or the week before? When Justin wasn't here, he had something to do, so we played without him for a couple songs, and I go, this sounds kind of naked here. But I mean, I rely on Justin a lot.
How does that feel, coming in and getting that kind of credit?
Oh, Justin's great. He's my guitar hero, and I'm not even kidding.
Nice.
I mean, he's probably old enough to be my grandson. No, my son. But I mean, Justin
Probably.
But anyway, these guys are something else, and it's the best thing I ever did was move here and get in a band. It makes me feel like I'm somebody. It's a great feeling.
I can say that coming into this, definitely, I feel more alive. And I'm not even up on stage.
I feel more alive too.
That's what we want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other Mr. Quiet over here, your turn.
Mike, the bass player. Yeah, so let's see now. When I was 4 or 5, that's when the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan. And I couldn't even say guitar, but I told my parents I wanted a guitar after that.
Nice.
And I really didn't get I told them I didn't want a toy guitar, I want a real guitar.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get one, and when I was 14, I had a little job, and I made enough money, I got a guitar, an acoustic guitar.
All right, I'm gonna stop you for just a second because you just said something absolutely amazing in this day and age.
Yeah.
You got a job
Yeah.
and went and bought that yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have a 23-year-old. I just have to catch on moments like that and point him out.
I cleaned hallways in apartments, so I could, for like $10 a day or something like that. And that, after I got the guitar, that also helped fund my lessons. I took a few guitar lessons.
Right.
But I got bigger, and the guitar became difficult because my fingers are kind of large, and I'm muting strings. And someone said, someone mentioned a bass. We were in a 2-guitar band, 2 guitars and drums, fast forwarding to high school now.
Yeah.
And, I was struggling, and I wasn't playing good. And someone said, why don't you try bass? So I saved up some money again. This time I had a little better job. I bought a Fender Precision bass, and I had it for a while, and it was great. Somehow I'm from Chicago originally. I just came here 3.5 years ago.
See, I'm running into a lot of people from the eastern side of the country. Art Long is from over in that, I think he's Boston area, and then I just was speaking with somebody else, a former member of WASP. I was speaking to Rick, and he's from New York. And so all the East Coast people are coming out here to play music. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's the taxes are really driving us here, but
we're going to pretend it's because we've got the best music scene. That's what I'm buying. That's what I'm hearing.
I puttered around bands after high school. I really never put anything aside for very long, more than a couple years. I've been in a band my life more often than not in all those years. And it's fun. In that area, that part of the country, a musician is going to only play cover songs. That's it. And I was okay with that too. You're doing a wedding, or you're doing a biker bar, and playing kind of music you want to play.
See, I have a whole thought process on that. Washington cover songs are not a thing. Back home, that was, they look at you, you play cover songs, oh, that's cute, move on.
Yeah.
You make your name on the songs that you wrote. So coming here, these bands where everybody's like, oh yeah, we're a cover band, and I started trying to help bands get shows, and they're like, well, that's an original band. Yeah, we can't book them because our crowd doesn't want to hear and I'm like, you're kidding me, right?
We've ran into that a little too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's interesting. And that kind of makes it a little harder for us in any band. Any band who's doing originals. Because I never thought tribute bands would ever take off. I was wrong. I'm sorry. But I'm serious. I figured you'd have to be really good and sound just like them for me to even come.
Yeah. And
at which point you might as well call yourself a tribute band.
Yeah.
Right.
Grudge Meyer tribute band.
Yeah.
Hello.
For 15 years, I was in a really good tribute band for like anything rock. We would play any. That band could probably play 12 hours without repeating and play every song perfectly.
Damn good.
Nice.
And with all the different artists, I mean,
Right.
Flexible with the styles was a good education, I guess.
I have to say that my idea of a tribute band has really been brought up a few notches after meeting Wasp and getting to see them in concert. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Wasp in concert or even seen any of their videos.
No.
Okay, they've got the costumes down.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the backdrops down.
Okay.
And they've got the sound. They put on an entire show.
So see, that's where it is. You build yourself. You and
That's
where you look
tribute.
right.
That is tribute.
Yep.
I saw other bands that same night that were tribute bands that knew the music, but they weren't dedicated
It'd
to
be like
it.
a Pink Floyd tribute band without lasers and the lights.
Yeah.
And the floating pig and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you got to have the flying pig. You cannot call yourself a Pink Floyd tribute without the flying pig. And let's get back to you coming here from Chicago.
Oh yeah. So before I moved here, I changed my profile in Bandmix about 6 months before. Bandmix is that app. It's kind of like Tinder for musicians.
I was gonna ask somebody to explain to me what the heck Bandmix is because I'd actually never heard of it.
That's how I got to know these guys.
Yeah.
Musicians looking for musicians. Go ahead.
So it's Craigslist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. More like Tinder, because you get emails and you call people. It's actually very cool.
Very.
And it works great. And I was shocked when I learned that it was an original band, not a cover band.
Right.
I was like, and then I started getting excited. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
I don't have to play Proud Mary anymore.
Okay, so I'm. All of you have worked with cover bands
Not really.
in your lifetime. Other than you've never allowed yourself
Only
that
a
pleasure.
handful the whole career.
You know, what I found was I love these songs that we're doing, and I had to play them so many times that I almost started hating them.
Well, and that was actually going to be my question. Are there songs out there that you have had to play as a cover band that you now don't even want to hear that used to be like actual you liked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rock Me Like a Hurricane. I've played that song so many times that it became work. You know?
Believe it or not, like any Clapton song is almost like
Apologies. Sorry. No kidding.
It's
nothing down on him, but it's just,
you
I
get
played
tired
him too
of it.
much.
But there's no Jimmy Page.
And I'm sure he gets tired of playing them. Jesus, you know.
Oh, I'm sure.
I can't fathom my job, because I'm in property management. My job changes with the ringing of the telephone or the next person that walks in my door. So I can't fathom having to literally do the same thing again and again.
Sounds like marriage.
And there's a reason I'm single. Yes.
You know, you deposit, you withdraw, and you lose interest.
Right. So let's talk about Grudge Meyer. Now we've got some background on each one of you guys. Let's talk about Grudge Meyer. Grudge Meyer's been around for about 2 years, if I remember correctly.
2.5.
Okay. All of you were with bands before. You've all been in and out of bands, other than our youngest member here, who
Little puppy there, yeah.
it's all good. You'll quit being called the young pup eventually, someday, maybe.
We've all done our time. Let's do it.
Absolutely. So, where did the name Grudge Meyer come from?
Oh, this is great. Alan.
Actually, my dad went to school with Wallace and Lamel.
Okay.
And he used to do skits with them. and he was actually on the Wallace and Lamel show
Nice.
a couple times. And actually, that's where the name came from. Was Grudge Meyer, Mr. Grudge Meyer. I don't know if you ever remember him from Wallace and Lamel.
Actually, never watched Wallace and Lamel.
Well, if you were born and raised in Arizona, you watched Wallace and Lamel.
I watched J.P. Patches.
Yeah,
I mean, we're named after a kid show?
we were named after a kid
Oh,
show.
shit.
Grudge Meyer.
And we are so not PG.
I
Not at
looked
all.
it up, and Grudge Meyer was a medieval tax collector.
I thought so.
So
Well,
maybe
we don't
that's
hold
where
grudges.
they got it from. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I remember, and
He was a
we
cranky
kind of
old
liked.
man.
I kind of liked the name. Being another guitar player, thought of it, and it was like Grudge Meyer. Man, that'd be a cool band name. So that's really where that came about. It was.
That's one of the things that attracted me too. The hardest part about starting a band is figuring out the name.
Well, and quite honestly, I have to tell you that's actually one of my favorite questions to ask. I love hearing the stories behind things.
Oh yeah.
So getting to hear where it came from, how it came about. I can say that one of my bands literally, I mean, and if you actually know the lead singer in person, you'll totally get it. Their name was damn near scientifically done because he's he's a computer IT guy and he's all about statistics. And I mean, literally, I had them tell me the story of how the name came about, and I'm like, damn, that, too bad I don't edit. Damn it. So, I mean, and it was sad because I was expecting a really cool story.
I often thought maybe we should choreograph this Mr. Grudge Meyer who played that role in our show if we get to that point.
What you need to do is just go get some of the dolls of him, you know, like keychain size, and toss them out to the crowd.
Yeah,
It's your Grudge Meyer.
Mr. Grudge Meyer.
Yeah, I think that's great.
That's almost as good as Oh No, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, Mr. Bill.
Sorry, if y'all were here, you'd be able to see the youngest member of this band has got a really dazed and a expression on his face right now as I've just taken us squarely right into the 80s and 90s.
Gotta help him.
I really don't mean to keep picking on you, but it's so easy. And gosh, I'm sorry, but not really.
We figured since let's see, he's got to be the one that handles all the girls and
See,
there are some perks, but you're also the one that gets to lug the heavy equipment because you're the one without back issues.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he does that all
That
week.
thing,
He's actually a very, very bright kid. He's
Nice.
Computer. He's engineer, computer science.
Nice. That's
He
going to
kicks
do
some
you well
ass.
in life.
He's the
So
youngest and
he's a
smartest.
package deal for any young lady.
Nice.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Do you feel like
Not
your dad's
trying
trying
to
to
sell
sell you off or something like that? Just a little bit?
I'm used to it.
It's okay. As I can tell you, your mother would be saying the same thing
Yeah,
about
where is
you.
she anyways?
But she would be saying it in a completely different tone. As a mother of a son, I can tell you our tone is, my son is the complete package, stay the F away from him because he's too good for you.
Yeah.
That's mom's direction
As
from
far
it.
as I know, he's still a virgin.
You don't
okay.
want to know that.
I forgot he's my son. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, and I can tell you, my son and I have a very open relationship and have lots of
You have
conversations.
to.
We came to an agreement very early on that he could ask me anything he
Right
wanted,
on.
but he needed to think about it twice because I was actually going to give him the answer.
There you go. Perfect.
But you're going to tell him what he probably don't want to hear,
Which is why he has to think about it twice before he asks it. And he would come to me and ask me questions, and I would look at him and go, "Baby, do you really want to know that answer?" And he would take a deep breath and decide at that point whether he really wanted to know that answer.
So when he comes to you and say, "Mom, I want to start a band," what would you say?
I would have no issue with it, quite
Nice.
honestly. It's, all right, baby, as long as you've got the money to pay your bills, you go live your dream.
Right on.
But although he plays the guitar, that's not his passion.
Yeah. That's good.
My son very much takes after his mother. I much appreciate the fact that my son takes after his mother. He's into sharp, pointy things. And he's into making sharp, pointy things.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He also runs a D&D group.
Oh.
I have that geeky, nerdy, cool son that his D&D books are actually the original series.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
They were his dad's books.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, although he listens to music and we listen to different types of music, he actually goes and brags about his mother.
Cool.
He is now at the point that he actually brags about his mother. And, oh yeah, no, my mom does this. Mm-hmm. And my mom knows this band. And one of his bosses at work has a lot of different tattoos of different bands all over her.
Uh-huh.
And he looked at her one day and said, by the way, you need to join this group on Facebook. My mom runs it.
Nice.
And he tells me the story, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, oh, baby, you're so cute. I love you.
Nice.
So let's get back to Grudge Meyer, though. What is Grudge Meyer doing these days? We've talked about you guys spending some time in studio. When is that music coming out?
Actually, we have a couple shows coming up. Starlight Lounge, April 17th.
Nice.
And then we'll be at the Palo Verde Lounge, April 25th. And back at the Palo Verde Lounge on June 1st. So those are the 3 shows. We got more and looking to do more.
I'm lining up 2 other shows for the Northwest Music Hub so we can get some music going here in Surprise. Any bands who want to help get involved, I'm more than willing.
Absolutely do
Cool.
a post on the local beat about that and make sure you and I talk about that before I leave because I can absolutely help you get bands into that.
This is a wonderful place.
We've got
people.
I can tell you that within I would say a 20-mile radius of you, off the top of my head, I can think of 6 bands that live within 20 miles of here or less.
Nice.
Actually, more like 10 miles because...
So we're filling a niche. He's asking for bands, and I'm like, let's do this. So we have a couple of shows May and one probably coming in about in June. And we just got with, hopefully, a tribute band who does Rob Zombie.
Nice.
So we'll start matching up groups, and like you said, let's get going on this.
You betcha.
Cool.
So, back to the music. You guys were just in studio. Is the EP out for that yet?
We're actually getting CDs pressed
This
right
week.
now.
This coming week. We
Nice.
get 200 of these babies. Nice. So we'll be having them on not only our shirts, we got bracelets, tags, we've got our merchandise lined up.
Nice. And is there a website that people can go to for that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Our Facebook website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that /GrudgeMeyer1 or something like that? I think Penny knows that.
Somebody holler out that web address for people to go to. They got to know where to go buy the stuff.
Yeah, it would be facebook.com/GrudgeMeyer1.
/ or backslash?
That's a good question. Backslash.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
But we're also have our songs on Spotify, Pandora, all the digital streaming services.
Yeah.
So.
As well as currently going through and being played on Bands of the Beats podcast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So you guys are getting out there. So are you going to be doing a CD release party for that? Or is it just a matter of you're going to have them...
That's something I need to set up. Kind of just getting in with the promoters and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd definitely like to do something like that. I don't know if we're going to do that at the Northwestern Hub or maybe
we'll decide, We're everything's still, we're just fresh and ready to break loose. So
fantastic.
There's a lot of
ducks
bars
in
we
a
haven't
row.
played yet, so
there's a lot of bars out there, guys.
I can't wait.
And that's basically what we're doing now. That's now that we spent all of our time in the studio, that was real important to us that we have a good product for people to listen to.
Absolutely.
To even get their interest in us, if there's any of that. which hopefully, once we can get in some of these other bars, I got to find out who to talk to.
Well, you happen to have somebody sitting here that can help you with that
See,
when we're done.
That's
and
the
that's
door
kind
that
of
has
what
to
we
be
do
open.
right now. Like I said, all we got is the Palo Verde Lounge and the Starlight with Alex Wood, and that's
Alex is a good guy.
yeah, he is. He's a real guy. I actually had the first show we were going to do. I had to cancel. I had pneumonia.
Oh,
I felt
Lord.
so bad. I'm like, oh my God, I had to cancel the show, and that's not something I do. But
Yeah, but if you have pneumonia, it's really important that you actually
yeah.
go ahead and cancel that show.
oh yeah. You don't wanna spread
Falling dead on stage is never a good look for anybody.
that. Oh, I don't know. I need to get some
You know,
attention.
Publicity.
Get into the news.
Yeah, I'll get in the news. I'll do something.
I think
No.
within these 2 years, man, there's been family deaths, ammonia. We've had setback, replaced guitar player, divorce. Man, what hasn't happened?
Yeah.
Can't
Let's
happen.
not put that
So,
challenge out to the
you know,
universe because
yeah.
it will show
No.
you what hasn't happened yet.
We've been through it, so we're done, and it's all positive now. It's
Nice.
a free flow. We know it, and we play it like we feel.
That is awesome. So, who, band-wise, who are some of your... I've lost my words here that I'm thinking of. Who are you guys not based after sound-wise, but influenced by? Thank you.
I'm influenced by everything, everywhere I go. I went to see Herb Alpert last week in Prescott.
Nice.
So, I'll go. I have I cover a range of things that influence me personally, and that I'm sure comes out here.
Well, of
Yeah.
When we're all
course.
together. But that's the diversity of things I listen to shapes a lot of the sound, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I actually teach drums to 3-year-olds all the way up. So, I get to play Santana, you name it, all the way down. So I feel that it helps me to be very diverse. I listen to everybody. I get the best of it all,
Yeah.
you know. And if I can apply it to enhance any songs that we're doing, I'm not stealing something, I'm going to make it my own.
Right.
But it helps.
Right, absolutely.
So, yeah, you definitely get influenced by a lot.
I would have to say if I'm going to go old school, it would be Rush. But
Definitely.
some of the new modern bands, modern as in 90s and 2000s, Dream Theater, Tool, Intervals, those are some of the guys that I go for.
Mine's Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Ted Nugent, Montrose.
Couldn't go any more old school rock and roll than right there.
I like Disturbed,
I
Godsmack,
love Disturbed. Godsmack, not
I
so
even
much.
love,
Slipknot, even less.
Hellstorm.
Mm-hmm.
I love Evanescence. I love Amy.
Yeah, I like Disturbed. I like wide variety. I always liked Rob Halford. Met him quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
I like Racer X. Jeff Martin. I was real good friends with Jeff Martin.
Racer
Yeah.
X. My buddy in Starship played with him.
Yeah, Racer X.
Matter of fact,
Every time they came into town, I made sure that we would open up for them. You know, at the Mason Jar, or where mainly it was a Mason Jar because Franco, Jeff always kept his drum set there.
Right.
He had a red drum set, and just had good talks with him and stuff, you know. And I remember one time I went and asked, there was a private birthday party for Rob Halford, and I went and asked Rob Halford for lessons. If he gave any lessons, he goes, you know what? He goes, no, I don't. Why don't you go talk to Jeff Martin? So I went and talked to Jeff, and Jeff knew how I sang and stuff, and he goes, I tell you what, he goes, if you teach me to sing like you do, I'll teach you to sing like I do. And it just made me realize something, sitting there thinking about it. It's like, you know, everyone's got their own style, and just you're not going to really rob someone else's style.
Well, and
That's natural.
the fact is, we are all an expert at our way of doing things. I work with Jim Stark. He's got his own podcast. He's the one that got me into the podcasting. But we can interview the same person and it will be two completely different interviews because we both have our own style and come at it from a different direction. And you're going to get different information from each one of our interviews. So it's got to be the same way with music. You're sitting down. Each one of you has your own life influences.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sitting down with a song, coming at it from 5 different directions, 5 different influences.
And you put it in a bowl, mix it up, and see how the cake bakes.
And that's it. And
you just got to put the icing on.
that's the icing is the name of the band, isn't it? Doesn't that ice the cake for you?
Oh,
It
yeah.
sure is.
There you go.
I'll even throw sprinkles on there for you.
Woohoo! Sprinkles on top. We like, as long as they're different colored sprinkles. Got to be rainbow sprinkles.
Oh, you got it. No
Got to
problem.
be rainbow
I'll
sprinkles.
hook you up. VIP sprinkles.
So let's get into some more of those questions that I'm known for because they're fun for me. And I say that because there's certain questions that make everybody groan and look at me sideways. So let's start with you guys so far. Best performance, your all-time favorite top show that you've played.
Richie's last time.
I think so, yeah.
He kicked.
Yeah, Rich.
And the
Richie's.
audience loved, really dug it.
Yeah, we had over
That helps.
100 and didn't hear nothing but good. So that's what encouraged us to even go
Further,
more, yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Because the people said, "Oh man, you guys really need to work a little bit." That would have, okay, what's wrong? So that's why we encourage other bands to come and help.
Right.
Okay, hey, you might think about adding this.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the last one at Richie's. What's Richie's? I've never heard of it.
Oh,
Well, diner.
yeah, that's the Northwest Music Hub, and it's a Richie's 2, and it's on Bell and Grand over here.
Whoops.
What the heck was that?
Hello.
Kick back.
Was a ghost.
Thermal degassing or something.
All right, equipment just started popping, and
farting.
holy cow!
So, but anyways, that restaurant is wanting local bands, and then it's 185 sitting people. It's beautiful. We load in the back, easy come, easy go. You bring the crowd, and it's just that was our grass. That was wonderful.
Nice.
It was great.
Yeah.
Drink prices were so good; they were almost too good. People,
Nice.
yeah.
I think by the end of the night they were giving away for free.
I'm telling you. You
Or
know,
at least as drunk as people were, it felt like they were getting
Yeah.
away for it.
yeah. So that was our good
They
performance.
want us back too.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a good feeling when they come to you and say, "Will you come back?"
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
Hounded
she's
us.
been after us ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the flip side of that, what was the absolute bottom of the barrel, your worst show to date?
We didn't have
Easter?
one.
Halloween party. No, the Halloween party.
The Halloween
Was
party,
that
yeah.
before me?
Yeah, before.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
our
yeah.
worst.
That was our first.
It was our first and our worst.
Yeah.
Well, I just,
Stepped in when these guys were already kicking butt.
All right.
So I
Made
don't
your
know.
job easy.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So we still had the diapers on. It was a trial and error, and for us.
What made it so? I mean, all of you said the first Halloween
Well,
party.
what it
What
was-
made it?
is
that
we
way you had
basically forgot our own
Pain
song.
face. And
And we just completely started playing it different.
Yeah.
And on stage, and it just
But did the fans notice?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no.
Well, it was, it was different.
Because if they don't notice, then who cares?
Yeah.
No.
That's
Well,
my theory.
Well,
If
we weren't gelling. We weren't really playing together yet. It takes time for
Right.
individuals to play together. Even if you're professional, it's not. That
it's not an
automatic.
overnight. It doesn't happen overnight.
And that was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Halloween. So
Yeah.
it was like very early of our playing together.
Yeah.
So
It just-
less than perfect.
We
Right.
came a long way. We
yeah.
we
Well, you
understand
guys
each
were
other
already
more on
kicking when I
stage
came.
and off stage to make it.
Made it work.
We all pretty much know what our senses are. We know what's going on. If
Right.
someone does this or does that, everyone feels it, and they know how to vibe off each other. And we got the nod.
And
when things aren't going
nod
right
is
or
like
whatever, or
major.
we're not sure, we got the nod. We got the
It's
nod.
like this.
It sucks.
Or like this.
Yeah, it sucks to try to get a product in it, and then it sucks. So
Right.
we go back and see what we did wrong.
how do you guys do that? How do you guys look? Do you have somebody that videos for you and you go back and look at those videos? Do you just sit and have the debriefing discussion after a show? How do you guys come to the consensus of, oh, this wasn't right, this is something we need to tweak for next time?
That's how that comes out in rehearsals.
Yes.
Yeah, our rehearsals.
Absolutely.
Everyone knows. Everyone kind of we always, basically, it's a band meeting.
Yeah.
Anytime we rehearse and stuff, we always talk about what was right, what was wrong,
What we could do.
and what can we do different here, and things not to do or whatever. And we all talk about it.
Yep.
It comes in, and then a lot of times we record ourselves too to find out where we're at, and we kind of listen back a little bit and see.
Yeah, I've got bands that take those videos that I make and they ask me to send them to them directly. Because they use that just like a football team will use those highlight reels.
Yeah, right.
That'd work.
Bands will use the videos that I take as their highlight reels to see, oh, yeah, that was, nah.
Nice.
Can I say something here?
You bet.
When I was first playing guitar in a band, they didn't even have VCRs yet.
Oh. I remember those days.
The albums, I was like spinning it with my fingers slower. So what was he doing there?
Yeah. And how many people sitting in this room know what came out before VHS? It was called Beta, and yep,
Yeah, crazy.
had one of those before we got the VHS. I remember black and white TV. I'm that old.
So do I.
So let's move on to a much more fun. And again, this is fun for me. I don't know how fun it is for y'all, but it's fun for me. And we know that that's what matters, is I'm having a good time. So, dream venue. If you could play go for it. Come on.
Madison Square Garden.
That is actually a standard. A lot of
my
bands
last name.
want to play Madison Square Gardens. To them, that is the pinnacle. Anybody else?
Probably, for me growing up here, it'd be the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Because I remember as a kid going there, watching groups going, holy crap, I'll never make it that far. So, but to hear them say, hold on to your dreams, never
bet.
let go, was that little spark that kept me going.
You bet. Absolutely.
And damn it, I still suck. No. But, it's about,
No, you don't.
you just got to keep plugging out.
Yeah.
Well, having fun helps you keep going.
Yeah.
You bet. So, anybody else?
Yeah.
Dream venue.
The Marquee Theater.
The Marquee?
Yeah.
That's not too far.
No, that's
You can
not
reach
too
that
far.
level.
You betcha.
I even know the guy, but
Me
it's
too.
Now we
kind
gotta
of
reach
hard
out
to
to
get
Donnie.
Donnie sometimes.
Hello, Donnie.
So, next. Other dream. Come on. Anybody? Others?
Madison Square Garden, I'd say.
Yeah?
Alrighty.
My dream is the next gig.
Yeah.
See, and my favorite one so far for the answer to that question was the base of the Grand Canyon.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That now, granted, it'll never happen. They'll never allow it. But
That'd be
could you
awesome.
imagine that sound? And I've actually had other bands tell me, no, that would be really bad because that sound is going to bounce back at you.
Yeah.
But God, as a person standing in the audience,
Yeah.
bring
Come
it
on,
in,
guys, we gotta
bring
go.
it in by helicopter, man,
It would sure
helicopter.
make a good video.
God, wouldn't
If
it?
anything.
All I can imagine though is the sound sitting in the audience. That sound coming out.
You just got to time your echoes and then. hit
There you go.
afterwards, and
There
you're
you
good.
go.
No problem.
So,
Yeah.
if you guys could share a show bill with anybody, and yes, that is alive or dead, which is the part of the questions that makes people groan when I say alive or dead, because that seems to open it up to too big of a thought process, and I don't care. Again, this is about me having fun.
Well, that's a tough
Well,
question.
I didn't catch that.
Share the show, Bill. Share a stage
Your
with
ultimate-
any other
Oh,
band.
I
What
think
other band?
for us, it's Alice Cooper, I think.
For me, it'd be Led Zeppelin.
Or Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper.
Maybe.
Alice Cooper.
You,
that one's not as hard to achieve as you'd think.
Yeah, right.
Or Rush with Alex Lifeson and Getty V.
Rush.
Nipper.
I
Your
love
dad,
Rush too.
drumming.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Two of you left to answer.
Pink Floyd.
Floyd.
That would work.
I'd say Alice Cooper. That's the Skid Row. That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sebastian
Alice
Bach.
lives around here. We should be able to hang
Sebastian
out.
Bach.
Sebastian Bach's coming to town soon.
Yeah, he is. He's coming in.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be pretty cool. I've always liked him as a singer.
So we're going to wrap this up with one final question. What's you guys' all-time goal? What's the next step for Grudge Meyer?
It's world domination.
All right, Pinky.
I think it would actually just being able to travel and play and being able to enjoy what you love to do and get to see the world at the same time would be so excellent.
Nationwide.
At this age, I mean,
Yeah.
hell, why I still can walk and talk and breathe.
And remember it?
And remember.
Remember it is an important thing these days, man. I'm coming up on 50 and
Wow.
just having to use a calendar to start keeping track of my schedule is enough to make me go, crap, I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah. I hear
Well,
you.
we're glad you're doing it.
So, guys, this has been absolutely great sitting down with you and having this time to get to know you guys a little bit more.
Likewise.
Before we close this out, one more time, next 3 gigs you've got coming up?
April 17th.
Where
at?
at?
The Starlight Lounge.
At the Starlight?
And then April 25th at Palo Verde Lounge. And June 1st at the Palo Verde Lounge. Those are
Okay.
the ones that we have set up right now. And looking for more.
Facebook page is Facebook's Grudge Meyer /
Facebook.com /Grudge Meyer 1 or just search Grudge Meyer on Facebook.
Okay, Grudge Meyer on Facebook. Music is out on Spotify, Apple, Pandora.
All the above.
Okay.
Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation.
Yeah, definitely give it a listen. We
Absolutely.
love feedback. That's the thing. We love to talk with our fans or anybody.
So, guys, they are absolutely inviting you to message them off of their Facebook page so they can hear what you've got to say. Guys, thank you for sitting down with me today. Our beat goes on. Thank you guys for joining and listening to this. And until next time, have a great night.